Hi there. Have you ever looked through a kaleidoscope and found yourself in awe of the amazing repeated pattern? Well, today we're going to make a kaleidoscope design, only this time, if you look closely, it's going to feature your name. It looks very complicated, but I have a trick to share with you. Stay tuned and I'll show you how it's done. So this project uses almost all the elements of art. You've got line, you've got shape, you've got color, you have pattern. You also have balance, you have contrast between your colors, and you have symmetry. One side is exactly the same as the other, or as close as we can get it. So for this project, you're going to need a piece of paper. It has to be a square. This one is 11 inches by 11 inches. You'll need a planning pencil. Eraser is helpful. You're going to want to make sure your black marker is waterproof so that when you color it, it doesn't bleed out. You'll also need your markers. So let's get started. The first part of this project, whoops, I forgot to tell you one more thing you need. You will also need a piece of graph paper. And this I will give to you. It was used for making copies back in the old days before people had copy machines. And artists still use it today. So the first thing we need to do is fold this paper. And we're going to start with the diagonal fold. That's important. So I'm going to go point to point. And this is a case where you can't do it quickly. You have to take your time to really line it up properly if you want this to come out well and if you want it to be easier. I line it up, I hold it, I fold it, and then I take a bone folder. You could use the edge of a ruler, something to make that crease work really well. I'm going to open it up and I'm going to do another diagonal fold, point to point. Again, line it up. Do you see anything sticking out on the edges? If it's like that, it's not right. Line it up, fold it, crease it and fold it. Use your bone folder or ruler. The next step, you see how my lines radiate out from the middle? I need the lines radiating out this way, so I'm going to do side to side. So first it's point to point, point to point. Now it's side to side. And I bet you can guess what's next, another side to side. So let's check. Do all our lines radiate out from the middle? Yes, they do, so I've got it right. So next step is to fold it into a triangle for doing the design part. I am going to use my name to make a design. Now when I do this, I want to go from the middle out. So I'm going to make sure, see there, all the openings are on this side. The middle is on the left. Where all the points come together is on the left. So now I'm going to do a name. The important thing about doing this, and first I'm planning it, is to make sure all the letters go from top to bottom, touch top and bottom. Now if you have a really long name like Cameron, you're going to want to use Cam or a nickname, or if you just don't want to do your own name, pick a short name that will work. I'm going to use my daughter Livy's name. It's nice and short and works really well. So I'm just going to plan it lightly first. An L will fit there. Now I have to make that I huge. It has to go way up here. The V has to touch top and bottom, and I. Now I need to make these letters fat because I'm going to color them in, and if they're skinny, it doesn't work well. So now I'm going to go back and fatten it up. I know they will fit, so I'm going to do L. There's the L, and I am not going to put the bottom line here or the top line here. There's a reason. I want them to connect, and you'll see in a minute. L, I, fat V. Seems like making bubble letters. Make sure that V's fat at the bottom and another I. So I've got Livy, and I had a little space here, so I'm going to add just a little something to make the pattern more interesting. It touches top and bottom. Okay, so I've designed my word, which is Livy, and it reaches top and bottom. I have not put a line underneath, and I'll show you why. Now, so I have part of my design, but now I need it this many more times. How am I going to do it? I have a trick to make it easier for you. I'm going to take the graph paper, and I'm going to put it on this piece of white paper so you can see it. Not the graph paper, excuse me, it's called the carbon paper. This has two sides, a dull side and then a shiny black side. I want to make sure the shiny black side is up. Now I want this name to end up here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put this name right over this area. It's right on top, right? And I am going to put it down like this with this side against the shiny black of the carbon paper. Now watch, I'm going to press down really hard. Lots of pressure is important for this. Again, I'm not going to put this line across the top because I want to establish a connector. And if you don't get your lines exactly perfect, that's fine. It'll all work out when you go to color it. All right. Now, when I open this up, you see what happened? This V became this V, and it's upside down, and it's backwards. But let's watch what happens. I'm going to take this and make this one go here. Put it right over the top of that one, put it down, and trace it. Again, the harder you press down, the brighter your design will be, and it's actually less work for you later. I'm doing the upside down V now, the I, and don't forget all those little details. I did that one time, I forgot them. Okay, you see what's happened? This is starting to form a pattern. The L's are starting to form a new shape, and that's because I don't have the line, you really see it. So stay tuned, and I'm going to show you this in fast forward. So when I open up my design, this is what I get. You notice here's the Livy right here, but it opens up and all the V's connect to make a wonderful pattern. Again, the L's, they make this shape here. The next step is to go back and make sure you do your connectors. You can see now why I didn't put the lines under the bottom of these letters, because it now makes all these letters work together to make a pattern. And if you looked at this, you would not know there was a name hiding in there. So go back, make sure you've fixed up any spots that need connecting, and then outline with Sharpie carefully. And as I say, a Sharpie is great for this because if you use a water-based black marker, when you go to color over it with colored markers, sometimes the black dissolves and it makes your design kind of gray. So you can see how all those little elements work together to make this one big pattern. The next step after you outline it is to color it in with your markers. There's a great way to do this so it comes out looking professional. The first thing you have to consider is color. If you use every single color on your letters, what are you going to use for your background? And you can also do it differently. In this one, Derek saved out the pink and used his whole background pink. But the way this is divided up, I could make the background of this, for instance, yellow, and the background of this, pink or blue. You decide what colors you like. I think I might start with a nice limey green. Now, the way you color this makes a big difference in how it comes out. If you scribble color like this, it takes you a lot longer to go back and fix spaces, and it doesn't look nice. So put your marker a little bit on the side and sort of stroke it on in lines. It goes faster and it makes a much nicer design. If you do this, when you try to go back, it takes a lot longer to correct it. It doesn't look as nice. And what happens when we look at a piece of artwork, our eyes go to the thing that is different. So if you do this art and you leave some white spaces, the first thing your viewer will see is your mistakes. So take your time. It's actually faster to stroke it on carefully than it is to go back and fix it up later. Take your time, fill in, pick the colors you like. Think of colors that you might want high contrast, or you might say, no, I'm going to make this all blues and greens. Do you want contrast or do you want it more subtle? You decide. Remember, you may pause and go through the steps slowly. First you fold, then you design, then you make the repeat pattern and outline and color it in. So take your time to do a good job. This may take you several sessions to color it in. And when you're all done, don't forget to send me a picture of your work. I can't wait to see it. Bye-bye. Hi, I'm back with a quick PS. As I was coloring this, I realized there's something I forgot to tell you. When you're choosing your colors, make sure that you color all the matching letters that touch the same color. One year, the kids nagged at me and said, oh, I want to color each of my L's a different color, and I let them. And you know what happened? We didn't see it as an overall pattern. The names popped right out, and the kids were not happy with it. So remember, all the V's that are touching should be the same color all the way around your design. And that way, you'll get a fabulous design that works together, and your name will be hidden for people to find. Have fun, do a great job, and I can't wait to see your work.